It's a beautiful day to be a Raider, draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield. I represent the swords. It's that time of night again, Raider Nation. And you come back. Why? Because you know it's time. It's time to bring them.
What's up, Raider Nation? I am the Commish, coming to you live from Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. Deep behind the enemy line. This is Raider Reaction. What's up? Happy Tuesday. Sup, Chris? Sup, Terry? And what's up, Jukebox? Raider Stephanie. Jukebox, I think you're first, my brother. I believe you got in first today, but we will verify. We will verify later. But what's up, Keith? Looks like Jukebox might have got in and got the point for yesterday. So we will see. We will see. Now, last night we had a new one on the board as Kaylee McLaughlin is on the board with their first point for the month of July. Late in the race, but nonetheless, she could sweep out the month. You never know. Could happen. Could happen. So, it's not officially the start of training camp, but pre-camp has begun, and there is silver and black on the field. On a football field, we have Oakland Raiders on the field, getting ready and preparing for game action in the near future. That's exciting. That's exciting. Officially, camp is going to officially get started on Friday. But what I have marked on my calendar is the 31st. The 31st is the first padded practice. That's the first practice when you're going to have guys out there hitting each other. That's when it's football. I mean, that's when it's football. When you got shoulder pads and a helmet on, you're hitting each other. That's when it's freaking football, not this, running around in cleats and shorts and a t-shirt. That's great and all, but thank you, Chris. But, that's great and all, but until you're out there banging, man, you got to get ready. You got to get into game shape. You got to get into game shape. So there's only one way to do that, and that's to play the game. So that's what I got marked on the calendar. So for me, officially, Monday's going to be it. That's when you guys got out there in the field hitting each other. That's when you got guys, catching balls with full pads on, with helmets, shoulder pads, running like they're actually going to run in a game. Up until then, it's it's what's up, Amber? It is what it is. Before then, it's practice, basic practice. Fitness training. Up until then, I mean, I understand you can hone your skills, and I mean it's nice you can work on your pass and run your routes and what have you. But yes, Jukebox. I was debating if I would use that for my WTH tonight, but I knew there was no way that somebody wasn't going to pull that out before the end of the show. So we can touch on that now since it's been brought up. That is hilarious. That goes in the category of you can't make that up. As much as the Cowboys have been in trouble over the past, I don't know how many, month and a half, every week to week and a half, there's a Cowboy arrested, suspended, pulling a gun on some lady on the side of the road, knocking somebody out, ripping his shirt off, something's going down every single week. And just like every other week, we wake up Monday morning with another stupid Cowboys story. And it's Lucky Whitehead You're like, oh, come on. You can't make this up. The guy's name's Lucky Whitehead. Are you freaking kidding me? You can't make this up. So, I mean, me and NorCal talked about it last night. And as soon as the story hit in the morning, it was in the morning news cycle. By the afternoon news cycle, the Cowboys released this guy. And he was going with the Shaggy defense the whole time like, wasn't me. Wasn't me. Mistaken identity, man. It wasn't me. He was going with it the whole time. And they're all like, come on, man. Come on. You know it was you. You know it was you. So they didn't believe the guy. Guess what? It wasn't him. So they released him. I mean, that's just hilarious, man. That's just comical. Because what a crappy offseason Dallas is having. As much of a great offseason as Oakland is having, Dallas is having the polar opposite. It wasn't even him. They released him, and it wasn't even him. Lucky Whitehead. Not so lucky. Not so lucky. You're going to have to change his name. Because you can't be rocking around being Lucky Whitehead. You're about the most unlucky person there is. Good Lord. You got cut from an NFL team for doing something you didn't even do. That's harsh. That's something you don't hear about every day. You don't hear a guy straight up get cut for something he didn't even do. It's pretty brutal. Do they bring him back? I mean, what do you do in that situation? This is an unprecedented case. It's not like this happens every day. It's not so lucky, is he, Chris? Not so lucky. Oh, but thanks for bringing it up, Jukebox. I didn't know how long we were going to be able to hold on to that one, because that is just hilarious. That is hilarious. As much as, I'm telling you, man, they cannot stay out of the news right now. And that carries, man. That carries. When you got a distraction-free offseason, pretty much, the Raiders have been pretty much distraction-free. Every little hurdle we've hit, we've cleared. And we've just kept rolling. And what have I been saying? The last two hurdles left are our last two draft picks, the top two that need signed. Gregorian Conley and Obi Melifonwu. Now, Coach Del Rio has come out here in the past couple days, said there's no concerns. We're working on the structure of these contracts. It's going to get done. It's going to get done soon. These guys aren't going to miss much time. So it's reassuring that talks are happening. You look at the Conley. Let's look at both situations separately here. Because obviously Obi's situation is much less complicated than Conley's. I think Obi's is going to get done soon. I don't think Obi's is going to hang around long. Conley's is the one that concerns me a little bit. Because it does not look like the investigators or the detectives, the people working on the case for Gregorian Conley, are in a hurry. They have a 20-year statute of limitations in the state where the charges would be filed at, which means they don't have to rush. So if they're light on evidence, they can just keep it as under investigation, make him keep sweating, and just leave a big, question mark over this kid going into the season. And, I'm sure the Raiders are probably waiting it out to see what happens ultimately with this investigation before they enter into a contract with him. I mean, that's just good business. So it's just good business. So that just delays him getting ready and him getting in to start the season. So his situation is much different than Obi's. Now, Captain Jack said, do not worry, it's going to get done, working on it. So I'm hoping that everything's going to be fine. Because like I said, we've cleared all the other hurdles. What's up, Caesar? Caesar. What's up? We've cleared all the other hurdles. These are the last two. So we get rid of these and we go in distraction free. And even if these are the only two that we're dealing with, I don't really see that as much of a distraction. And it's not a huge concern for me. It's really not. So I don't see that as a big deal. If those are the only two guys we have to deal with, going into the preseason a little bit. Now, the preseason, it's right around the corner. We don't have now coming out here. We do have a couple guys that have popped up banged up, which we've pretty much been unscathed here through the offseason and getting ready here for the preseason as far as injury goes. But we're hearing news, and it's not really big news. Ben Heaney, we know he's been banged up. He's on the non-football injury list, along with tight end Cooper Helfert. I mean, the tight end's not a huge loss. We are super deep at tight end, so it's not a big loss to lose to him. I mean, if we're gonna have somebody banged up, at least it's that guy, I guess. But we all know linebackers are worry position, the position everybody's worried about. So losing a little bit of depth there is concerning, completely concerning. As he's a guy. What's up, brother? He's a guy that we thought was going to be a contributor, that I believe the coaching staff thought was going to be a contributor. So, yeah, it's a hit. It's a bummer to see that Heaney's out. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to be a long, lengthy thing, but his history is not of staying healthy. So it's a concern that he's out again because he doesn't have a great history. True, you got a good point there, Michael. Reggie has been dealing with the death in the family, obviously the death of his father, and that maybe that could have slowed down the contract talks just a little bit. Just a slight little bump in the road here right before preseason. It's a distinct possibility. What's up, Mark? It's a distinct possibility. You never know. I'm saying it's going to get done. It's going to get done soon. It's not going to linger long, and I don't think we're going to be talking about it much. But the next bullseye, basically, we have on our radar is August 12th at Arizona. Cardinals. Followed up by 7 days later, the Rams at the Coliseum. I don't think you're going to see a lot of Carr. Obviously, you're going to see hardly any of him in the Cardinals game. I would be surprised if maybe he comes out for the first series, just to knock some rust off. I don't know. I wouldn't think he's not going to see much time. Beast mode is the one that the big question mark for me for the preseason is beast mode. Typically, beast mode is not even at OTAs. So the fact he was at OTAs this season is showing you that he's all in and he wants to be about it this season. So the fact he's even at OTAs was positive. But preseason, do you see him before the third game? I'm gonna say no. There's no way. I don't think you see him before the third game, and I'd be surprised if you see him too much past the first quarter of the third game. And that's all you're gonna see beast mode in preseason. He doesn't have to prove anything. He's just got to prove that he can go out there and he's healthy and he doesn't have any hitch in his giddy up and there's nothing wrong with his cut and he's fine and he's ready to go. He needs very little field action to prove that he's ready to go. So now Carr, on the other hand, with I think he's really going to want to possibly play the whole half of that third game. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him a little bit at the beginning of the second game. I don't really think we'll see him in the first game. Like I said, maybe a series, man. Maybe to come out for like 3 snaps and then give it to Connor Cook or EJ Manuel. I don't think they're going to risk it. Don't think there's any reason to put him in there. So, and then of course the fourth. The fourth's like guys that are going to be insurance salesmen next week and and used car salesmen. working at a dealership or working for their dad or something, you know, selling real estate. That's all that plays in the fourth game, is those guys. If you have never been to a fourth preseason game, it is possibly the worst NFL football you will ever watch. It is terrible. Terrible. I had stellar seats that a boss of mine once upon a time had. And I went to watch it because, you know, obviously season ticket holder, he didn't want it, so he gave it to me. So I'm like, all right, man, I'll go. It's free football. Oh my God. Was it the worst thing I'd ever sat through? It was terrible. Terrible. Oh my God. Quarterbacks playing that, you know, ain't even going to have a job after, as soon as the whistle blows at the end of the game, they're cleaning out their locker. You know, that's who was playing. Oh, it was terrible. Terrible football. I mean, they don't call any plays, and the guys playing are... don't ever go to a fourth preseason game. I mean, about all you can do is just sit there and get hammered and drink cold beer, because the football is terrible. The seats were great, but the football is the worst thing I ever seen. It's terrible. Half those guys are car salesmen and working for their dad the next week. It's just bad. Bad football. But that's the way it is with preseason. We're all excited about preseason. It happens every year. I'm the same way. I get all excited. I'm like, yeah! August 12th, man, Cardinals, woo! And then I watch about half of a quarter and I'm like, man, this sucks. God, this is terrible. My God, I can't wait for the season to start. So it's just like one little step of I can't wait to the season to start. It's just like a little pacifier for a minute. Because really all you're looking forward is that third game where you're going to get possibly half a game of a dress rehearsal. But the rest of the preseason is pretty much like, you know, extended practice. It's really about it. And, you know, it's hard to get excited about it, but it's a necessary evil. Really, all you want to see out of preseason is nobody get freaking injured. That's all you want to see out of preseason. Is nobody get injured. That's about it. Because so far, knock on wood, we have been unscathed. Unscathed. So I would like us to maintain that. Because, like I've been saying, health is the number one. What's up, Dorothy Bell? Health is the number one key to success this season. Health. We filled all the holes. We need them to stay healthy. We need them to stay healthy. I mean, look what happened last season. One player went down. And it crumbled like a house of cards. So, it can happen. It can happen. It can happen. So, moving on. So, let's take a peek. Training camp is starting. There's certain things, obviously, we're looking at in training camp. And one of them is the right tackle position. Austin Howard has been banged up. We picked up Marshall Newhouse. We also have Vidal Alexander. The interesting thing about Howard is if we end up going with Newhouse, Howard is about $6.8 million that we could free up by letting him go. But, little snafu there. Little snafu. You can't let him go if he's injured. It's against the rules. Rules. The rules don't be chaos. We can't have chaos now. There would be anarchy. So, it's a sticky situation. Because Austin Howard has been a bit of a liability over there on the right tackle position. That's why we went and got Newhouse. So I think Newhouse is the heir apparent who they want to put in there. But the whole injury situation with Howard leaves it a sticky scenario. I think ultimately, you see Newhouse getting the starting position. And Howard's eventually going to be out. They're going to figure out a way, or they're going to wait till he's healthy. So, we will see. We will see. It's an interesting situation, though. That's probably one of the bigger position battles that we really should be watching. Is that right tackle position? Who's going to be the starter over there? Because I mean, the rest of the line is stout. I mean, Pro Bowl stout. Top of the line, the car insurance. It's all that. You just got one little ding over there that you got to take care of. We got to fix that right tackle. So that's a very interesting position. Obviously, the other position battle that everybody's talking about is who's going to be Carr's backup. You know, at least we're not in the position where we're out there trying to grab RG3 like the chokers. At least we're not in that position, because that's a bad position to be in. When you got to start looking at RG3 to start fixing any quarterback positions you have on your team, even if it is a backup quarterback. That's a scary proposition right there. If RG3 is anywhere in your equation of fixing the problem, that poor guy, man. For that one season, he was money. But his coach and his coaching staff and his team ran him into the ground. Put him out there on one leg and just beat him to death. Beat him to death. And it was unfortunate, you know. But hey, this is what it is. So he's trying out with the chokers. So we'll see. Janikowski's washed up. Get rid of him. Easy, Chris. Easy. I have to disagree with you, my friend. I have to disagree with you. I do not believe Seabass is washed up. Believe he's got a couple more seasons in him. I agree he's getting a little old, but he's a kicker, man. He's a kicker. And he's built like a hoss. He can still kick. He can kick. He's just got to get... Everybody has... It's not money all the time. But you playoffs, game on the line, you give me Seabass, man. You give me Seabass. He'll nail it. Give me Seabass. I'm not ready to part with him yet. Seabass needs to be a part of what's getting ready to happen, and he's the leading scorer in Raider history, man. He's got to be around. So, back to position battles. The big question is who's going to back up Carr. We bring in E.J. Manuel. But I think it's going to be Connor Cook. I think Cook's going to step up. I don't think Cook was that bad. I believe he's going to show up in preseason. I think he's going to have a solid preseason, and I think he's going to win the spot. I think E.J. Manuel is a camp arm. He's the guy they brought in to push Cook, to challenge him, because, you know, everybody needs to think their job is on the line in the NFL. You always need to be challenged. You always need to push yourself. Not just in the NFL, but in life. You should always feel challenged. You should always feel like somebody wants your job. That somebody's coming up behind you wanting to do it better. I feel like that every day. You should feel like that too. Because if you don't feel like that, then you're complacent. And somebody's going to take it from you. So you can't ever feel like that. You can't be complacent in life with anything. Because somebody will come up and take it from you. It's the same way in the NFL. You can't be complacent. You're the starting quarterback. Big deal. Drew Bledsoe was the starting quarterback once upon a time too. Look what happened to him. He went down. He never got his position back ever again. Look what happened to Alex Smith. Alex Smith got a concussion. He got hurt. He not even because of bad play, and he never got his job back. It happens. Happens in life. Take any job. There's always somebody trying to come up and take that nut from you. You just gotta hold on. So, same thing with these guys. You got E.J. Manuel's brought in for competition to keep Connor Cook moving. Keep him progressing talent-wise. So, I think it's going to be Connor Cook. Now, another thing you got to keep an eye on in training camp. Some trick plays, like flea flickers and the double reverse. Want to see the Statue of Liberty? Is that what you want to see? It's a halfback pass. Fake punt. What's up, Janelle? So another interesting thing you can keep up on in training camp is how Eddie Vanderdoes fits in on the defensive line. He is an interesting pickup. And he's one I cannot wait to see how he interacts when he gets out there on the field with the rest of the team. Preseason's such a tease, man. It's such a tease. It really is. It really is such a tease. Because you just want to see it, but, they're only going to unveil so much of the game plan. Because they're just wanting to see these guys and evaluate guys. They're not really going to come out and run their schemes to the fullest. They're not going to show the offenses. They're not going to show the little twerk, the little twist they put in. They're not going to show those little things. Not in preseason. They're just not. What's up, Leslie? Whoop whoop. They're not going to. They're just not. They're just not. So, but it is what it is. August 12th. Silver and black on the field in some sort of a competition. In an exhibition preseason game where there is no winner, there is no loser. It's just whoever leaves with no injuries. That's all you really want out of preseason. No injuries. That's all we want. Get out of it unscathed. Because somebody in the league gets nailed. It's like a sick game of Russian roulette preseason. Somebody gets nailed every season. I've seen some, because, obviously, I'm sure a lot of us are. I play fantasy football. And I've seen seasons where guys just drop like flies. Flies in preseason. Major injuries. And that's the thing that scares me about preseason. I hate the 4 games. I really hope we don't see much of the starters until the 3rd game. Get them a good half-game dress rehearsal. Sit them down, man. Let's get ready for the Titans. Let's go to Nashville. Let's go to Nashville to kick some teeth in and start this thing off right. That's pretty much what needs to happen. That's pretty much what needs to happen. So Eddie Vanderdoes, like I said, keep an eye on him. Then Amari Cooper, man. Amari Cooper came in jacked up looking out of this offseason. Jacked up. He looked ready for the season. He looked in great shape. Looks ready to go. So there's been talk of him possibly getting a little action in the slot. With Cordell Patterson, what's up, Janelle? There's going to be, I'm telling you, some shifts. With the added Cordell Patterson, he's a huge deep threat. He's a big guy. He can beat you vertical, and he can get the ball because he's big. He's big, and he's fast. Carr is looking buff. Raider 90 is looking buff. They're all looking jacked, man. I'm telling you, Khalil Mack has not stopped working out. That dude is a madman. But you're going to see Crab and Patterson in the 1 and the 2 sometimes. And you're going to see Coop slide up in the slot. And I expect to see Crabtree slide up there a little bit too. There's just different holes open, different matchups when you move the guys around just with that little tweak. It's all about matchups, baby. It's all about matchups. That's what football's all about. It's a chess match out there. It's all about matchups. You just get that one guy. Well, the Raiderettes are always looking hot, Janelle. Come on. We only pick the best of the best to represent the Oakland Raiders in anything, including cheerleaders. So come on. And then finally, the linebacker. It's the biggest position. Everybody's concerned in training camp. Heaney is shelved again. Only temporarily, but he's shelved again. Got Corey James, Terrell Adams, Jelani Jenkins. Got the rookie Najee Harris, Marquell Lee. At least you're honest, Janine. Oh, that's funny. Oh, okay. So, that's one of the big questions. Linebacker. We've put guys in the position to address it. It's whether or not... I'm not 100% positive on what the deal is with Heaney. Hold on. Let me look into that, Raider Natalie. Let me look into that right quick. It was an ankle injury that he'd been dealing with. I do know that. It's an ankle injury that he'd been dealing with. And it was a non-football related injury. So that's the weird thing. It's keeping them from practicing. It's a non-football related injury. They're not saying... They're not really saying... It was an ankle injury is what he was dealing with last season, but... This is a different injury, and they're not saying. Both of them are non-football related injuries. So, it's odd. What did you do? I suppose it's probably somewhat embarrassing, if I had to guess. It's probably somewhat embarrassing. And they're probably like, man, you know, because you got to come out and say they're physically unable to perform, basically. But it didn't happen on the field, you know. So obviously there's a reason why they didn't want to say so. Who knows? Leaves us to only speculate. What's up, Autumn Angel? I'm doing fabulous. So, leaves you to speculate. I'm sure it will come out eventually, but I have not seen what said injury was. Oh, they're going to keep him on the roster. They'll keep him on the roster. Heaney, now the tight end, I don't know about him. I don't know if Helfet, if he makes it. Because we're deep at tight end position. Very deep at tight end position. So I don't know if he'll make the cut. You know, you've got Jared Cook, Lee Smith, Clive Walford, Gabe Holmes, all four ahead of him. So, and we've got other guys too, so that are on roster right now battling for the 5th spot. So, if Helfet can't make it, I wouldn't surprise seeing him cut. But I don't think they'll cut Heaney. They're going to ride Heaney out and hope he can, because they're playing on him being a piece of the puzzle this season. He's in the mix. You know, he may be a little banged up right now, but he's in the mix. Yeah, he will probably still get paid. That's just the way it works. It's business, unfortunately. Just like Austin Howard, it's a possibility we could get stuck with Austin Howard, possibly wanting to release him. It happened with Roy Halou Jr. last year. We would have released Roy Halou Jr. long ago if he wasn't banged up, but we had to keep him because he was injured. You can't release an injured player because they're injured. So, yeah, interesting scenario how that's shaking out there. Now, the interior, that defensive line, Vanderdoes, Mario Edwards Jr., Autry, Ward, who I've said over and over again, along with him and Calhoun, are two guys I really want to see step up this season. Raider Natalie just says, give him the boot. You guys are banged up. I ain't got time to let you heal. Get out of here. I almost like that point of view. Because to some extent, I agree with you a little bit. Because your best asset as an NFL player is availability. If you are not available to the friggin' team to be out there on the field, well, then what are you doing? Except taking up space for somebody else who's healthy. So, there's a little truth to what she says there. Although it sounds cold and callous, there's a little truth to that. And I can't say I 100% disagree. Because there becomes a point when I'm just like, you're dead weight. Gotta cut you. Go. Go get healthy. Go sit on the couch. Play some Madden. Heal up. Give me a call. When you can run again. And hit somebody. Because the linebacker can't hit nobody. Nothing. Now I say that, like I said, the tight end, I can see, Heaney, he's too talented if he is healthy. We got to give him a chance. But I'm agreeing with you 50-50. The tight end, psh, we're deep at tight end. Especially with adding Jared Cook. So I hope he didn't do something stupid like, so skateboarding with his kid or something. But you hope it's not something really dumb. Like wrecked his bike, in the driveway or something. Something silly. Starting nose tackle. Get Darius Latham, Justin Ellis. McGee left, free agency, so I'm thinking it's probably Ellis. Most likely. But it's hard to tell. I'm telling you, the defensive line as a whole is just something to really keep an eye on through training camp. There's a lot of position battles on that defensive line. Sup, Mark Anthony? So, just keep an eye on it. Sup, Raider Mike? Keep an eye on it. The defensive line. You got Vanderdoes up there. You got Mario Edwards. Whether he's going to be healthy. Just a lot of question marks up there. And fitting in them pieces. Who's going to be the nose? It's a lot of pieces there. It's like I said, it's all a chess match. We have the pieces. It's about placing them right. It's about placing them right and getting everything ready. It's just about placing them right. So we'll see. We'll see things. We got time. Preseason, like I said, you gotta tweak until you get everything ready. Do you think there will be a surprise free agent signed? Do you think there's one more guy out there that's going to make somewhat of a splash and we're going to bring in? If it is, I'm curious just who you think it would be. I don't know if I see another one on our radar, and I don't know if I see another guy out there in the market that I would consider somebody we would want to go bring in. We've all talked about Perry Riley Jr. till we're blue in the face, but I just don't see it happening. Don't see it happening because there's a reason why it hasn't happened yet. And there's a reason why nobody else has signed him as well. So, I just think that one's not on the table. And that one wouldn't even be a big splash or surprise to me. It just, I don't know. There's just not a lot out there left, free agent-wise, that I think could make a big splash or what would be a shock to me. I pretty much think we're going to roll with what we got. It's just all about seeing where everybody fits in. What the rotations are going to be. Who's going to be the one. That's what I think it's all about. I think the guys are on roster that we're going to have. I don't think there's going to be any more moving. It's all about staying healthy. Unless we got to fill an injury or something, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Like, Raider Natalie, it all comes down to injuries, That could all change. Week one, you come out and somebody goes down. So, sometimes happens. Lance, I do. I do that on the Raider Reaction After Hours on One Nation Live. Every Thursday night, late night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. Get that backwards. 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. One Nation Live, Raider Reaction After Hours. Every Thursday night, anybody can come into the Raider Reaction Ultra VIP Lounge. It's a much more relaxed, much more laid back format, and anybody can join. I give you, you can call in via phone. You can slide in on the split screen with me and do the video chat. But, yes, absolutely. Other than that, you're typically a scheduled guest host on Raider Reaction. The After Hours, we'll let you in the Ultra VIP Lounge. But other than that, you must be a scheduled host on Raider Reaction. Because it's just the way it is. We got format here. So, I don't see a big surprise free agent. I don't see a big price free agent. I just don't. So, we'll see. But, we'll see. We'll see. There is the possibility that we grab somebody out there late, but I don't know. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Oh, Lance, absolutely, man. If you want to come on the After Hours, completely. If you're just, maybe this is your first time joining the show. Pretty much on Tuesdays, it's the Raider Nation News with the Commish. Break down all the Raider Nation news. Obviously, the juice is a little light because of the off-season. We're just getting ready to kick off, so we're starting to gear up. Tomorrow night, we got Ghost to the Post. Prime and the Commish, as we do every Monday and Wednesday. Then Thursday at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern, we have the Raider Nation News, and then the Franchise Face-Off. We're going to have T-Well, and possibly another opposing fan as well. So that should be good. And then, of course, on Friday, we have the Silver and Black. On Goes to the Post is all NFL. Goes to the Post every Monday and Wednesday. We talk all NFL because there's 31 other teams in the league. You got to know what's going on with your enemies. You got to know what's going on with the whole league. It's all about staying informed. So check out the Raider Action page, Lance. It has all the info you need to know about the shows, what the lineup is for the week. But yes, if you guys want to join and be on Raider Reaction with the Commish, you can do it on the After Hours on One Nation Live every late night Thursday, 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern. Juan and Rasputin will let you in the Ultra VIP Lounge. Yes, Goes to the Post every Monday and Wednesday. That is our league show, I guess if you would call it. I feel like I'm doing an infomercial. But I'm glad you joined, Lance. I'm glad you joined. Yes, we are here on Oakland Raiders football Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. We have a different format that we bring you every night. And then we have the Raider Reaction After Hours every late night Thursday on One Nation Live. And that's the laid back format where you can jump in. So my guest host tomorrow night is still up in the air. I have a few lines in the water, but it'll probably be determined by morning. Not 100% sure yet, Juba. Why are you wanting to be a guest co-host? But yes, because Prime is out. One more Goes to the Post, and then Prime is back Monday, and then back Wednesday with another Prime cut. So, what's up, Ernest? So that's yes. So, all right. Back to where we were at. Now, looking ahead at the preseason, 4 games. You get the first game, the Cardinals. August 12th, it's the first one we're looking towards. Then August 19th, first game in the Coliseum against the Rams. Then that Cowboys game. That Cowboys game. That's the one I really like, that we have the Cowboys on the third game of preseason and it's at their house. I like that. That gives us some adversity. And that gives us a real test for our dress rehearsal for the season. We're playing a playoff caliber team. We're playing a team with a prolific style offense. We're playing a team with a little bit of a questionable defense. So that helps for our offense to really get their feet underneath them, because we should be able to go out there and put yards up on them. We should be able to go out there and bang the ball on them. We should really get a chance to knock the rust and the dust off against the Cowboys. So I like the third game matchup, because that's our dress rehearsal. And I like the fact that our defense is going to get a play against a high-powered offense with a solid running game, with a decent passing game, and they're really going to be tested. So, it's a perfect dress rehearsal for what we are getting ready for. Perfect dress rehearsal. So, I'm very excited. Ooh, in preseason? Who even cares, Ernst? Who even cares? Preseason is all about leave the game with everybody walking to the plane. That's it. Everybody walking to the plane healthy, we win. That's it. As long as we go out there, do what we got to do, and get our feet under us, we're loving. I mean, I want them to go out and destroy somebody every time we go out, even in preseason. But the reality is the reality. As long as I wake up the next morning and I don't hear about somebody got injured, somebody's out, I didn't watch the game and see one of our guys get carted off the field, that's all I care about in preseason. Is I don't want to see that happen. That's always my biggest concern. Is I'm just holding my breath, hoping somebody doesn't get hurt in a game that doesn't mean anything. Guys, can you it just is the worst about thing that could happen to a guy, is to lose your entire season. Lose your entire season on a game that didn't mean anything. Nothing. I mean, everybody's all hyped about preseason when, we went 4-0, woo, woo, woo. Stat for you. The 0-16 Lions. 0-16 Lions went 4-0 in preseason. That's what preseason wins mean. They mean dick. They don't mean nothing. Unfortunately. 0-16. They were undefeated in preseason that season. And I'm sure they thought they were world beaters because they were 4-0. Because their third and fourth stringers were beating other third and fourth stringers at the end of games. So, we'll see. We'll see. We will see. The haters are out always, Tonio. They're always out. Haters lurking everywhere. Everywhere. They're everywhere. Haters and trolls. Haters and trolls. We cares about no haters and trolls. But it's just gives us something to laugh at. something to poke our to focus our fire upon. That's pretty much all it is. That's pretty much all it is. So, like I said, it's been fairly light in the Raider news, obviously, which is good. Like I've said 1,000 times, any news right now is bad news because that means somebody did something bad. Because there's no good news comes out at this time of the year. This time of the year, there should be no news. Guys are literally going and putting their gear in their locker. You know, that's it. They're checking into camp. There should be no headlines to that. This is not headline time. If there is headlines, they are bad headlines. So I don't want headlines right now. Don't want headlines at all. don't want headlines. Because right now, headlines are bad. So, we're easing in perfectly into the season. Obi and Conley are going to get signed. Not concerned. I think I'm putting the deadline on those two before the first preseason game. I think their deal will be done before August 12th. That's the deadline that I'm putting out there. And I think that will be when the deal gets done, is before that first game. I think it will happen then. That's right, Steve. 100%. Just get in, get your reps, knock the rust off, knock the dust off, get ready, and that's all we need. Get geared up. The only one that counts is Tennessee. That's when it counts. Up until then, doesn't count. Tennessee. It's the only one we care about. Just get through, knock the rust off, get healthy, stay healthy. That's all we need. That is all we need. So, I figured I would give you all a little silver and black public service announcement. Because I've noticed something, and I've been monitoring something. I've been doing my own little social experiment on Facebook over the past, it's been a few weeks now. It's been a few weeks. My own little social experiment. Because since I've been doing this show, and I'm in the groups I'm about, and, people, I get a ton of friend requests now. Which I love it, man. I love, I'm meeting cool people like Jukebox and Chris and Terry and Lines and, all of you guys that from Raider Nation, Raiderhead Stephanie, Raiderhead Natalie, just tons of cool people. So, I'm enjoying it all, and, I'm over thousands in my friends, and and I love having all the Raider Nation family on my friends list. I love seeing what's going on, all Raider fans all around the country. I love it. But I've also noticed, and I've been doing a little experiment, that because I get a lot of friend requests, it's always some real hot chick in the profile box. Some she's in some enticing pose or dressed provocatively of some way. Something that will catch the eye of some thirsty, lonely guy sitting at home. And it's a friend request. Now you'll go look at said profile, and the profile will have no photos in any albums or any profile pictures other than the profile picture. They'll have no photos. And the only posts on their page will be from thirsty dudes who have added to this random person who's not even a real person and have posted on their wall. Those are the only posts you'll see. And then you'll scroll down and you'll see like their birth date, and then you'll see when their Facebook was created, which was probably like a month ago. And so I've left a few of these just as experiments and left them in my friend request box. And I've just monitored to see, because at first their mutuals there's only like 2 or 3, and then I've watched to see how many mutuals grow, and I've went and watched to watch them to see some of you guys, probably some of you that are watching this show right now. Be a little more careful when you're adding these people to your friends list. Because I see you guys adding them, and you're on my friends list. And I see you adding them, and I'm just shaking my head like, I've already looked into that, and I know that's a fraud. So, be careful out there. It's my ReACTIon public service announcement. Because I see some of you, y'all gonna get caught up in something. Something. Because they only can be out for evil. It ain't for good. It ain't for good. They want your identification, find out where you live. They want to know something. So, just saying. Be a little more careful. Because a lot of you guys probably don't get as many friend requests as I get. Because since I'm on this show, I get mad requests during the day. It's not like I'm trying to brag or nothing, because half of them are, I'd say 75% of them are BS and fake. It's just because it's a more public. I'm getting crazy friend requests. And they're fake, so I've been looking through them. But I know that your average person doesn't probably look that close. When they get a friend's request, you know, he's like, oh, hey, what's up, Maria? Baby, what's up? That's what so don't be too thirsty out there, guys. Come on now. Be smart about it. Be smart about it. It's the technology age, man. You gotta be smart about it. The 900 number industry is dead, so they're coming at you at different angles, you know what I'm saying? Tonio's right. Beware. Beware. Tread lightly. Tread lightly. My WTH for this evening, I'm going to stick with that theme. Facebook. I even touched on this last week, and I got the same WTH. I repeat. Rack it up again. Rack it up again. 2 times. Because I just got added again today into the same groups I removed myself from last week. Quit adding me to groups. I'm a happily married family man. I do not need to be in sexy Hina's lifestyle. I do not need to be in California Lovins. I do not need to be in guys getting over bad relationships. I've been married a very long time. I am not getting over a bad relationship. I am not living the sexy Hina lifestyle. Please, don't add people to those groups. Not just me. Don't do it to other people you know. They don't want to see it. What if somebody doesn't have a wife as cool as mine, and they're scrolling through their groups, and somebody adds you to big booty white girls or something. And your wife's like, why are you in big booty white girls? Why would you even join a group called Big Booty White? And you're just, just because your buddy's acting a fool. You shouldn't even be allowed to do that on Facebook. But, I like to be social. Have some respect and some boundaries, people. Respect your friends. Don't be adding them into groups like that and all crazy nonsense. That's no good for nobody. Just makes you say, what the hell? That's my WTH for this episode. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern, right back here, bringing the fire for another solid 60 minutes. Tomorrow, we drop back deep in the pocket, let it fly league wide, as we touch on all the hot league stories from around the league, as we go Ghost to the Post with Prime and the Commish. Prime is out. One more Ghost to the Post. He'll be back Monday to start out the week. So I will have a guest, co-host, most likely tomorrow. So, I have several lines in the water, so you're just going to have to wait and see who it is. Tune in tomorrow. It will be Ghost to the Post. Regardless, we will be dropping back deep in the pocket. We will be letting it fly league wide. And we will be hitting all the hot league topics, hot league stories, regardless. Like we do every Monday and Wednesday on RAIDER ReACTION. So, thank you for joining me. I always appreciate any second you spend with me on RAIDER ReACTIon. Thank you, first watchers. Thank you, Lance. Hope you show back up again. And for the rest of you, thank you, always. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for watching. Last week was the best RAIDER ReACTIon numbers we've ever had. And it's all because of the Raider Nation and the help and support of you guys that watch and share. And, man, you guys, hey, Raider Nation's the best. We all know that. I ain't gotta say it. Peace. Love. Raider Nation.